Hi, it's Jenna. In May, I had a dream about, it was a system dream I'd had a lot about needing to go down to the basement, and the basement having monsters, and and then one night Lil was the one dreaming, and she had a key to a locked room in the basement, and it was like electric blue and all like veins going through the room. It was crazy. And when she opened it, there was like a boy and a girl in there, and they were like relaxing and playing video games, and just closed it and didn't go in there. Well, we had Kaleb come out, and so this week, once again, Lil was dreaming. She was, and I'm not sure if this was a dream or I was just sleepy. I heard a voice from the back, and Lil was in the front, so who knows who was speaking, say Jennifer Adriana. And it was like the feeling that this was another part. So I think that those were the two locked in the room. And I'm pretty sure that the name belongs to the part that then the next couple days we've started to feel. But I'm not sure the part is not necessarily speaking. Lil. So the other day I started feeling like this crushing grief, hot, burning grief. And I could feel that it was coming from Lil. And I wasn't sure if it was coming from her or through her. But it wasn't coming from me. And so in the evening, when it was a good time to address that, it's a nice thing about being in parts is I had the ability to be like, you know what? Now's not a good time for this. We're just going to keep that. And it's different when you're triggered, but I wasn't. And so we brought Lil to the front to try and figure out what was going on. And she sobbed for like an hour or more, and really couldn't talk about what she was feeling or experiencing. She said it was like if you took a metal spoon and you heated it until it was melty, and you just ripped open your chest and stuck it in your heart. That's what it felt like. And and she was hearing like another, like the thought she was hearing associated with that wasn't necessarily hers. And so once we were able to kind of like sit with the emotion, that's sounds stupid. It feels impossible when you're going through that just overwhelming, aimless anguish. But you know, we sat with it. Then later that night, when we were in bed, no, that was the next day. So because Lil went to bed that night, and I was in the front the next day, and I could still every now and then feel it coming through. And I've actually seen a couple people in the D.I.D like chats and communities talk about like the internal screaming, and I have never had internal screaming. I had internal screaming. Like I woke up to like screaming, and and it felt like clawing, like internal, and it's hard to explain that. But like my thoughts aren't screaming, and but it's there. And so every now and then throughout the day it would break through. So it wasn't like it ever stopped. It was just, you know, locked back wherever it is, and then I could, every now and then it would make it over that barrier. So in the evening I was like, okay, my body was sick after like going through that much emotion the night before. I was like, we need to have a calm day so our body can recover. So tonight is not, we're not going to have anybody front and process this because the body can't take it. So that night when I went to sleep, I did an exercise to try and take me into the inner world, which I still, as the host, don't have great access to. And I was praying. I was like, God, I need help here. I really need help here. So when I got there, E met me. Like, she was with me, and she was like, we need to go to Lil's house. So ran to her tree house. And because I don't have good access to the inner world, it's not as clear as it could be. And I was trying to explain this to Jonathan. It's like the other altars, when they interact in the inner world, is much clearer, crisper. But when I opened the door to Lil's house, she was on her bed, and this small child was on her, like clawing at her chest, and it was bloody. And we grabbed her quickly, and she was like feral, just screaming and clawing, and Lil was like, I told her I would help her share her pain. So this was like my brain's way of interpreting what is going on. Basically, when I try and explain the inner world, like, it's kind of like a dream. It's your subconscious projection of what is going on. Your subconscious, your brain's way of using symbols to explain and portray something that really is hard to explain any other way. And like a dream, you can affect it, but only to a point. At least this is my inner world experience. I can only affect the inner world so much. I can build a house in the inner world with a thought. But then when I turn and see Anthony's house that he built without my input, I can't change his house. That's his house. He built his own. Like, it's so. So we grabbed the little girl from Lil, and Jen came. We called Jen because Jen has the highest pain tolerance of us all, and Jen wrapped her up and took her to her house, with the understanding that this is not going to be easy, but Jen is probably the best equipped, having faced head on her own trauma, being a part the trauma holder. She's probably the best equipped to take care of this child, and I think this is Jennifer Adriana. But we don't know. There's not really been speaking. There's been screaming and crying and clawing, and it is really hard. The emotions are just so intense from this little girl who feels completely abandoned. And so when Lil offered her friendship, like, I'll help you with this, and who knows when she did that. She clearly, as the dream, like, she had the key to get into that room. This was the way that, like, how that, okay, here's, take it, take it, take the pain. So anyway, that's what's going on. So right now, Jen is caring for her along with Anthony, because I may not have mentioned that, but they have moved in together, so they now share a house. This was Jen's idea. I'll have you know. Oh, and she's really private, so she's not exactly okay with me sharing that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Not really great at editing, so it's kind of out there. They made modifications to his house, so, but anyway. But I actually have a lot of confidence in them as a team to deal with this. And I don't know how this is going to work out, but, we're in it. So we'll see.